この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Sangatsu, Episode 5. Season 2, Episode 5. Or Episode, what is it? 27. Last time on Sangatsu, we did a double feature because we needed to know what happened to Hina. And now we know. The last two episodes were heavy, but also wholesome and heartwarming in a way that I guess I don't think I've ever felt from any other show. Really nuanced exploration of difficult stuff. This is the first real serious arc of the second season. I don't know how long this arc will go on, but we've left off in what I think is a really interesting place. Because there are a lot of ways that this can go. Hina is getting bullied because she stood up for her friend who was getting bullied. She did the right thing, and most of the characters who care about her have stated such and believe such, and so do we as the audience, I think. It's pretty clear that Hina didn't really have a choice but to stand up for her friend, or to follow in the footsteps of a lot of her peers and just ignore it and save herself by doing so. She chose the side of principle. And I titled that video "The Price of Principle." Because that's what I think it comes down to. Like, doing the right thing doesn't always lead to good results for you, in terms of the way other people treat you. But if you can live with it, that's what matters. In any case, she stood up for her friend, and her friend ended up leaving the school anyway, full of doubt and worry about the future. And now the bully's attention turns toward Hina. And it's not good. It's not good. As interesting as Hina's position is right now, it's the catalyst for something happening within Rei. And his reaction to her experience, which mirrors his own childhood experiences, is, I think, the focus of this arc. It's how will he react to this, and that's where we left off. We left off with him racking his brain looking for a solution. I don't know if he can find one. I don't know if this is a solvable problem in the moment, but charting his feelings about the issue is really cool because he starts off with a very human response, which is somebody hurt somebody I care about. I want to go and rip them limb from limb. Vengeance instantly. But he's mature enough to realize that that's not going to be very effective, and could indeed be worse. So he stuffs that idea down and tries to take control of himself and use his significant thinking skills, his significant critical thinking and strategy, and focus everything on figuring out a way to fix this. He doesn't know what the exact goal is, whether it's to get the bullies to stop or what, but he wants to find a way to fix this, and he doesn't have an answer right now. He's looking for one. This is an interesting place because it gives us a lot of room for Rei to be like caught up in his own thoughts, which I think is where he's at his most interesting as a character, because we can really see inside his mind, and Shaft's production really helps bring that to life. But there's also this interesting possibility that he could be on this problem for a while, and Hina could be getting bullied in the background for a while. And what I feel like is going to happen is he's going to run into somebody or experience something in either Shogi or one of the people he hangs out with, or he'll talk to Shimada about it or something, and he'll get a spark of an idea. That's what I'm kind of expecting and hoping for this episode, because Rei's sparks of ideas are so cool, so neat. But at present, it's kind of a standoff. Hina has been reassured that she did the right thing by her grandfather and her family and her close friends like Rei. But she's not going to necessarily see the results of having done a right thing. She might get punished for it. And that's sad, but very real and painful. So we'll have to see how these characters manage this situation and what conclusions, if any, Rei comes to. That's what I'm looking forward to and what I'm looking for in this episode. So I've got notes up. I'll take them if I take them, and if I don't take too many, I'll just edit in the ones that I take and then edit out the rest so that it's not like in the way of the subs or anything like that. Got the episode up. Sangatsu no Lion episode 27 or season 2 episode 5. It's up. It's ready to go. There will be multiple versions of this video. You can find picture-in-picture versions with the video up here in links in the description. BitChute and Mega. And you can find the timer-based version with the full reaction, full discussion, and run-through on YouTube as usual. So, the timer-based version will have a beep-beep timer. It'll go boop, 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 beep, and on the beep and green light, that's the same frame that the video starts playing on my screen. So if you're playing along with your own media, that's probably when you want to hit the button. Beep beep timer goes here. This is T, by the way. God, this OP is so beautiful. The little light bursts when text appears are really nice. I haven't noticed them consciously, but they make it all flow. It's really nice. Okay. So he's going to Sensei for help. Yeah, he's doing all right. Professional loner. Right. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. This is interesting seeing Sensei take something really seriously. Oh, you mean like me? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. What do you do? Ah, Mo. Everything's situational. We did it! Yeah. Sensei, are you losing it? Still got it. Right. Right. It's all situational. It all comes down to the person, to the people. And why, as a teacher, it's easier to run away, to dismiss it. It's just like a shogi board. The arrangement of the pieces and their types determines what the next move is. Okay? Right. Which is a stretch anyway. Yeah, it becomes even worse. Ah, it's that simple. I really like that. He doesn't really know her that well. She is a human being. Oh, oh God, Sensei. Uh-huh. Sensei is a shipper. Do you like her? Yes. You what? How much money he makes off of tournaments? Sensei's dead. Keeps doing the Shirowave glasses push. It's really interesting. Serious eyes. All right. I love that shot of the door. That was crispy. Yeah, he makes more money than you do. What is he searching for, I wonder? This narration makes it seem so goofy. I don't know. Confession. Of what? Oh. Damn. Interesting. Interesting. Yes! Finally, my rival. Let's do it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Damn straight. A reason beyond survival. Important. Really important. He's struggling hard. Grandpa? Ah. I thought we might get a goofy shot of Grandpa on the roller coaster. was was Momo just driving a panda? What? No, you're not, buddy. You're gonna crumble. You twig. We gotta feed you. Fua fua. Nope. You sit down and eat. Hey. She feeling like she should have been the one to say that? She doesn't have the answers. Hmm. That's tough. Right. It's easy to forget how young she is. Damn. Mm-hmm. You're always there. Hmm. Sup? Don't take me seriously, you idiot. Get in here. Get fat. Just a little, but that's perfect. It does look a lot like him. Let's watch through the preview. All right, Okawa Bukubu. Bukubu Okawa. Or Bikub Okawa. Who are you? Honeycomb Chatka. Oh! Pop Team Epic. Oh. Well, there we go. That makes perfect sense, and this is very much that style. Okay, perfect. Cool. Very cool. Neat episode. Neat episode. Sort of exactly what I was kind of hoping for, but then there were a bunch of other elements that I totally didn't expect, and I'm really glad we're there. One of those being Akari being down on herself. I think that's really interesting because from the outside, from our perspective, Akari is best mom hands down, no doubt, right? At least for me, best maternal figure in anime that I've seen. But it's a struggle. Like, it's really easy to forget that Akari is not that experienced. She's in her early 20s, as far as I can tell. Maybe mid-20s. She was, 19 when their mother died? I think that's what she said in this episode. And the other girls don't look that much older than they did in that shot. A couple of years, a few years. I don't know. I'm sure that you could find Akari's exact age at this point, but I'd put her in her early to mid-20s. And second-guessing herself and her actions, and being aware that she has, like, a ways to go, and feeling this weight of duty and responsibility on her shoulders to care for these other two girls is complex and believable, and I love it in her character. And then she goes even further beyond that. She's just a fucking saint and is trying to take care of Rei as well, and basically anybody who comes into her house. It's just kind of amazing. She's always there. She's always there for Hina and Momo when she needs to be. And that's like the most important thing that she does, in my opinion, is to just be there and be a consistent force of warmth and comfort and food and, like, stability. But she's a human being, right? She can't just be this paper cutout who provides the food and says nice things. She has to deal with that. And we've seen a bit of this in the background, a little bit, with her focus on money, and making the most of what she can spend on groceries, specifically. This has come up multiple times, and so it's always an interesting thing when Rei brings over something that he's been given by other people, like the stuff from Shimada's hometown, because it's meaningful to that family, and he knows that, but he doesn't have an easy way to say, like, let me just buy groceries for you. I eat enough of your food. I don't feel like Akari would let him, but he could insist. Regardless, I really like this episode. I like the way that Rei is playing this. Going and talking to his teacher is really important because he's got a direct line to someone who's in a similar position to other authority figures and probably has more insight into this situation than he does, and it's somebody who he can trust and who won't just brush it off. And that's so valuable. It's incredibly valuable. And you could say that if Hina had a teacher or a relationship with a teacher that was similar to this one, then we wouldn't be in this situation, because Hina's first complaint to the teacher would not have gone, not have been just deflected. But she doesn't, and so Rei uses his own connections. And this is, I think, the first time that Rei's been able to go to connections of his and get value for others from his social circle. It's interesting. But like, the fact that this teacher is there and cares about Rei is so fucking important. It cannot be understated. Okay. Let's go through it, because there were a bunch of interesting things in this segment, and what I found really great was that we play it as though this isn't world-changing, life-threatening, immediately necessary to absolutely deal with in a complete way, or to rush. We're sort of dealing with this as like an information gathering quest, and I think that's really good. It's really it's so good. Okay. So yeah, if you want the short version, I think this episode was really good and a nice way of saying that it's difficult to figure out this situation. And there's no easy blanket answer for every bullying situation, which I think is what the show is trying to show and what it's trying to say. I love when anime and manga try to actually say something and like give value. It's like, yay! Yes, this isn't just a shallow paper cutout cash grab. Yes, it's the best. And I think it's really attempting to show things that are useful in situations like this. Akari and her steadfastness and just being there is really crucial. Grandpa and praising his idea to praise Hina for doing the right thing, even if it brings more pain from outside to her, is a really good idea, because that's the kind of a trait in a kid that you want to nurture that, right? If a kid starts displaying courage and kindness and the courage to be kind even if it hurts them, that's something you want to be like, look, you might get hurt for doing this right now, but this is a good thing to do, and if you do this consistently, you will see more benefit than pain from it. Keep doing it, because we need people like that in the world. We need people who are willing to stand up for other people. So, the Rei glasses push is something that I haven't really noticed before. I'm sure that he's done it a couple of times, but it's now being used as like in the same way that the head turn is used for emotion with different colors, to give us a different feeling. This glasses push is like Rei is on the ball. And I called it the Shiroway glasses push because Shiroway in Log Horizon is well known for doing this glasses push with the shiny light in the glasses. And I don't know if they were thinking about that when they did this, but that's what I immediately relate it to. And to me, it's like, we're solving this problem. We're digging in. We're going serious right now. And I really like it. It's really good. I'm not being bullied. I'm just being ignored. And then we sort of go from really light to really, like, as dark as Rei gets in pretty much the same sentence. We go from chibi characters to this. How do I even describe this? These really, really super close-ups that they do of facial features to get sort of maximum motion. And then we go to chibi blunt. And it's like, this is real. This is really what's going on with Rei. But it's also something that he's okay with, so we can play it as almost comedy, as like this isn't super dark, serious, Ray in black and white, whooshing sounds stuff. He's cool with this. And I love that we say I'm not in anyone's field of vision, and we have him smack dab in our field of vision with a fisheye and everything else bokeh'd. It's like, I'm not in anyone's field of vision except ours. We're watching everything Ray does, and that's kind of neat. I don't know. And I guess we're from the perspective of the teacher at this point, so I guess he's in the same sort of position of watching Ray. In any case, we then play it for laughs a little bit. And then Senpai starts taking this really seriously, and it's awesome. It's awesome because he's a character who is more often than not a goofball, but he's showing that like he's a good teacher. He's a really good person to be there for his students, and that's so nice. And he immediately thinks of, like, worst case scenario. I think she was really lucky to have someone like Hina. It could have had a much worse ending. Absolutely. And then we get a sequence of tilts. I think there are 3. But I just want to mention this. Like, I don't know if you read this as just a worse outcome. I read this as suicide. I read this as, this girl is so alone. If she didn't have someone who treated her with human dignity, she might have killed herself. And I'm sorry if that, like, is going too far or whatever, but I think it needs to be said, and we can't dance around the issue of young adult or child suicide. It's like, it's a problem, and situations like this in school and lack of people to turn to is why it happens a lot of the time. So, I mean, I had a pretty close friend kill themselves in the middle of high school in my sophomore year. And he was a sophomore too. He went to a different school, but he was close in my circle of friends, and we would go and play touch football at a park near the school every Friday. Like every Friday without fail. And sometimes we would invite random teachers who were cool. Remember our Latin teacher, because a lot of us in the football crew such stupid kids. All right, a lot of us in the football crew were in this one Latin class, and there was only one Latin teacher, and his name was Ed Krug, and he was a goofball. Sometimes a bit more childish than even the students, and he let us get away with a lot of stupid stuff that we wouldn't have gotten away with in a more serious teaching space. But he would come and play football with us, and it was a good time. But yeah, this guy from another school who was really close with a couple of people in the group and lived really nearby, he would always show up for football, and we would hang out. And often these football sessions, like, we'd play for an hour or two, and then we'd end up driving around and, like, walking around, hiking mountains or whatever. All kinds of stuff. But he killed himself. He broke. And I think a major factor was that at his other school, he didn't have as many close friends. He felt ostracized, and he felt left out. He was also, you know, like 16, I think, and way too into drugs for his own good. And as facts came out about it, people talked about it, the signs were there. And his family had a history of schizophrenia. I think his uncle or his grandfather or someone was institutionalized schizophrenic. And it seemed that some of those tendencies started appearing in him, and he exacerbated them with heavy use of cannabis, heavy use of other drugs, and just went deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, and then eventually jumped off a cliff by the ocean and hit the rocks, and it was not pretty. So, kids kill themselves. 16 is way too young. If he had had someone who reached out to him directly, there's a chance that it could have gone differently. There were all these other factors, but there's a chance that he could still be alive. So, I can't understate how much I see the importance of Hina in this little story. In this story. Just being there and treating somebody with respect and recognizing that they're in a difficult situation and treating them like they're not. This is like, I probably have to back up and explain what I mean. A lot of the time when people are in a difficult situation, they're being bullied or they're getting really depressed, they don't want to have their friends become therapists. They don't want to have their friends like talk to them about their problems. They want their friends to be there as like an escape, a reminder that life can be good and real and fun and enjoyable. And so what Hina does here by standing up for her, but more importantly by just being there for her and being her friend is crucial. And good job, Hina. I'm right with Grandpa. You did absolutely nothing wrong. Well done. We need more people like you. And it's unfortunate that you're going to suffer for your principles. But that is the way of the world sometimes. Right, there were 3 turns, I think. I want to see that again. We've had a sadder ending. Okay. Turn, chair turn, close up on the eyes turn. Oh, and then a head tilt. So it's 4 cuts. Really sells. I think at this point in my first watch, I said Sensei is serious. Because this sequence really sells that. Now I don't know where it was. He continues doing these head turns throughout the conversation. 2 of them. And then he freaks. Yeah. Because he, as a teacher, he holds himself and other teachers to a standard, which is kind of cool. There was a piece of the voice actor's performance that I really liked, and I remarked on it, and I wanted to talk about it again. It would be nice if I could find it. Because I don't remember where it was exactly. Right. There was a little mouth opening click. So good. But I don't remember exactly where it was. Okay. That all rides on whether she's the type of person who can say that. Right there. And it's as a transition between topics. It's like he's said his initial piece, and then he's sort of pondering for a second. And there's like to have that kind of a little click, you got to have a little bit of tension in your lips and tongue. So you got to be like pursing your lips like this. Just a little bit. And a lot of people do that when they're thinking really carefully about something and trying to measure their words, trying to like consider what to say next. See, I'm doing it intentionally. I don't know why I find this so good. I don't know. I really I don't know if I can put it into words. Like, and I'm trying to do kind of the same thing, like measure my words and try and state this in a concise way, and I just don't know how to do it. That little click is, in my mind, above and beyond by either the voice actor or the ADR director, the guy directing the voice actor. Usually, voice actors do guided sessions for shows like this, and so they'll do multiple takes and be like, "Do a click here," something like that. I get the feeling it was the voice actor, though, his interpretation of the material. And I get the feeling that he was thinking, like, what is this teacher doing between these two phrases? And he's sitting there thinking intensely, pursing his lips a little bit. Ah, it's so good. Okay. So I skipped over a bunch of the interesting things in this conversation just to find that because I wanted to talk about it before I forgot about it. And this is, a lot of this is where we try and say something. So, or where the show, I think, tries to say something. The first is, it's not going to be easy, but that doesn't mean you should give up on trying. Great. But we have some ideas as to what not to do. Making a big ruckus about it and letting the parents duke it out is not going to solve anything. If anything, it's going to make the bullying worse. And even if the bullying is stopped, it goes to a different level of ostracization and like being an outcast, and it's just not good. It's bad juju. Yeah, we have to solve this, right? You get everybody in a mob, ignore the victim's feelings, distribute surveys to the school to see if other kids think bullying is happening. Fucking right. Okay, that's gonna work. What information are you gonna gain from that? Stuff like bullying, it's easy to call it misinterpretation. It's easy to do all sorts of things. All that really matters is, does the victim feel like they're a fucking victim? And if so, there's an issue and it needs to be figured out. Whatever behavior is causing them distress needs to be dealt with. Or, it's so difficult. It's so difficult because people have different thresholds for what they find painful. There are people with thick skins, and there are people with really thin skins. So, like, do you come down hard on the person called a bully just based on one person's testimony? It's really difficult for administrative staff to deal with this. Fuck. Listen patiently to all of her feelings on the matter. And then what's surprisingly effective is just being able to say, stop it. But can Hina do that? And that's where we get the click transition. Right there. And then he asks him about Hina, and then he starts to misinterpret. And this ends up being played more for laughs. I think the music comes in at this moment as well. Yeah, silent.
で、そのひなちゃんってのはどんな子なんだ？ひなちゃんですか?
Okay, it comes in when he starts thinking about Hina. Okay. And at first, I was thinking, like, maybe Ray will realize that he doesn't understand her that well and needs to go and gather more information. But he does. He understands her pretty well. And has been watching her closely. And he says exactly what he's thinking, that she is my savior. The teacher initially misinterprets. He's like, is this love? Is this young love? Just in case. Is she important to you? Yes. Want to do anything I can do to help? We get another push. She's my savior. The way his eyes shrink there as though he's focusing. It's so fucking good. Kind of has a bad feeling about this. Okay. And then Ray's got all of these things, and I'm not exactly sure what all of these are. I guess they're shogi tournaments or like prize pools or stuff. I don't know. But he's trying to figure out, he's trying to use what he's got to do the most helpful thing possible. And that is, in his mind, to succeed in shogi, get lots of money, and be able to support the family if they need it. That's really good. Even though he doesn't have an answer, he pushes forward on something that he knows that he can do. And that gives him a lot of inspiration and motivation in his own life. Like the desire to do this for someone else is huge, because Ray up until now has had this sort of link between shogi and survival, right? From very early on, he started playing shogi because it was a way that he could survive, and he has kept playing shogi because it's a way that he could survive in the way that he wants to, apart from the family where he wanted to get out. And he keeps playing shogi because it's all he's got. But now, he's got an external factor. He wants to take care of these people who he sees as his savior. He sees it as a debt in a monetary sense. Like, I must pay them back. I want to do this for them. Oh, that's such a huge thing for Ray's character development, because he's gotten himself to a level of stability somewhat. It's been a little while since Ray has been super duper mega depressed, and now that he's reaching a level of stability, he's able to observe and care and try and share some love, which is really important for the people around him and for him. Really important. Serious eyes. Can't afford to lose any more matches. There's this. Yeah. Oh, I love this cut. There's a lot of focus on thresholds in this episode in particular. I love this cut. This really, this didn't need to be there, but it is so good. And I think the timing on the sound effect is really good too, if I remember. It's really good. I love it. Okay. Something about this kid that's just off. So, what is he checking? I have to wonder. Otherwise, he's going to lose her. Yeah, I don't know. And then this bit of narration is really kind of interesting. It's like the end of a tokusatsu show, or like a long-running shonen. Tune in next week. Ray has decided to it's like Hunter x Hunter. It's so weird and it almost feels out of place, but it works. And then we jump to Ray, who has just said, I can't lose any more matches, having lost a match, punching a wall, which is interesting. And, of course, Nikaido takes this as, like, he's finally gonna be my best friend / rival. Yes! Which is great. And Ray plays into it, but his thoughts are on Hina. Absolutely. Whatever happens to Hina, it's my job to prepare a place for her to go. Nikaido, we're practicing. Yes. And they're just so happy for him. It's so cute. But he's kind of tunnel visioning on this make money from shogis to support them idea. And we'll see if he goes too far with it. Because he might. And then I love this. I love this. It's tough. Everything is tough. Reality is tough. But I have to keep going. I can't give up. My favorite sentiment in media, always, is suffering occurs. What are you going to do about it? There's no answer. You just accept it and you move forward. There are always obstacles. It always hurts. Everything that is good in the world, you're going to have to suffer to get it. Do it anyway. Love it. I love it. It's right. I mean capital R right. It is right in a deep sense. That's why it resonates so well. At least with me. Okay. And then I don't know. This is clearly a literal scene, but it's also kind of a metaphor for the way Kiriyama is taking this whole Hina situation. He is maybe putting too much burden on himself. Maybe. We'll see if that comes to fruition and if he sees consequences for that. Gets burned out on it or tunnel visions on the shogi thing or something. But he's taking a lot of burden and refusing to let other people help him. But he's doing it out of goodness. He wants to help. Akari's going off on food money. They're going to the amusement park. Grandpa is just obliging them. Momo driving a panda. This is a really weird toy thing. Like pandas that can walk around and be driven. It's really goofy. I love it. I am a man after all. And then Akari questions him about his weight. And then she starts walking faster like, well, we gotta get food in this boy. Right now. You're not going anywhere. You come in. Help me with these veggies. Yeah. And once she turns on the water, I'm thinking like, oh man, this scene's gonna get serious. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about the direction, but it prepped me for it. I was like, this scene is about to get serious. And then Akari kind of muses to herself. I'm no good, huh? And this perfect, strong, maternal character takes off the mask, and she is vulnerable. It's beautiful. And Akari is ashamed that she didn't know the right thing to say. That she questioned Hina. Which is really easy to do. When people are struggling, it's easy to ask them questions like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you act differently? You could have fixed this. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I could have fixed this. Doesn't accomplish anything. But it's really easy to do. You're just adding criticism onto it. It's like, damn, why didn't I go and tell my sister about this earlier? Added onto all of the other whys and all the other doubts. Why couldn't you have handled it more smoothly? Grandpa's got absolutely the right idea. Instead of asking her, why did you do that? We tell her, you did the right thing. Good job. Straightforward, blunt, to the point. Yeah, they're not that much younger than they are now. I know Momo's just a little baby, but it's only a couple of years. Mom was counting on me. Akari's got her own burdens. They're heavy. And then she kind of doubts the principles that she's tried to instill into Hina. Either that or the way that she's done it. She thinks maybe she has been too ham-fisted and too straightforward about do this, not that. And maybe blames herself for Hina's situation, for Hina being in a position to cause herself pain because of her kindness, because of her conscientiousness and her care of the people around her. And I feel like what Akari needs is somebody to say, no, you have done absolutely nothing wrong. You've done good. And in a sense, that's what RWBY can give her. I just wanted to run away. I just wanted her to run away. You've got it wrong. What you felt was normal. You've always been there. But it's more than that for RWBY. Even though Hina said she was scared. Just as certain that she had no regrets and didn't do anything wrong. She's convinced of the principles instilled in her by Akari. Yeah, because the world is treating her like she is doing something wrong. Right? At least the kids at school are. As he says earlier, she is strong. Very strong. At the same time, I realized that she'd saved me. For the same reason. Then we shroud RWBY in backlight. It's gorgeous. I realized that Hina was my savior. And because you raised her to be this way, because you instilled these good things in Hina, you're my savior too. How do you respond to that? Oh. Is there anything more self-affirming or fulfilling to have someone else say, you were there when I needed you? You are my savior? Like, even if it's not in that language. Without you, I would be worse. Powerful words, Ray. She cries and then doesn't dwell on it. Immediately picks up doing the thing that she does best. We get Momo Kaboom and again thresholds. I rode on a panda. Oh, hey Ray. the glass is breaking. That's great. I'll go home. Hey, don't take me seriously. Get the hell back in here, you idiot. Back through the threshold. She gives him this little Ray cat. And it's super cute. Dinner's ready. Oh, there's never a missed beat. There's never a missed beat or a missed opportunity to flesh something out or imply depth of character or just reveal hidden depth of character. It's fantastic. This show's too good. The show is populated by people, and they are believable, and they are human, and I love it. Okay, I'm just gonna babble if I keep talking. So, I've been Teeaboo. This has been Sangatsu, Season 2, Episode 5. If you liked it, go ahead and do that. Hated it, give it a thumbs down. It's totally cool. Maybe leave me a comment let me know what you hated about it. That would be really helpful. If you're not subbed and you want more, maybe do that. If you are subbed and you're not getting my videos, maybe ring the bell. And as always, if you... Whoa. Oh no. If you really like this content or want to support this guy who makes it, you can head over to patreon.com/Teeaboo. Get next week's Sangatsu a week early, along with early access to a bunch of other stuff, and Discord access to chat about stuff, and the ability to vote in polls for what I watch next. So, if any of that interests you, head over there and you can find out about it. Fantastic episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope to catch you next week in the next one. Peace.